Hey, it's Lauren. So today's review I am super excited to share with you because for the past few months I have been testing out different types of press-on nails. So the two brands that I'm going to be comparing today, if you didn't see the thumbnail, are the Olive & June and Glamnetic. So the reason that I started wearing press-on nails was because one of my nails broke above the nail bed and it was just really annoying me. And I was like, you know what? My friend Kate loves the Olive & June. So the next time I was at Target, I picked up a little pack of these. So let's go ahead and start with the Olive & June because this is where I began my journey. There are 42 nail sizes in these little packs, which that's like an insane amount of nails. So mine I've already, dropping nails everywhere. I've already opened this up. This is a slightly different shape than what I have on right now. So I'm going to do the most similar comparison between the nails. So this is an Olive & June, the like pointed almond shape here. And you can see it's pretty curved, but these have a decent amount of flex to them. I didn't find it to be overly uncomfortable on my nails, even though they are pretty curved. The one thing I will say about these, it's going to be a little tricky to show here. The center of these nails, they are thicker than the outsides. It's much thinner on these edges, and this center part is a little bit thicker. And I think that they do that to improve the durability of these nails. So here's what I'll say. There are 42 nails in there, and I found basically a really close size to all of my nails. But I found with the Olive & June nails, I do have to file the sides so I don't have like a ton of overhang over my own nail pretty often. And the other thing I will say, let's see if I can catch it. It's kind of hard to do. A tiny detail. The very edges of these nails do not come super smooth. They look like you've snapped them off of those old wheels. I don't know if a lot of you will be familiar with this, but press-on nails used to oftentimes come on a plastic wheel and you had to snap them off yourself and then file those tips because there was like a little, you can see it almost better there, like a little jagged plastic edge. And so even though these come like free floating, they still look like they've been snapped off of those plastic wheels. So I just thought that was kind of weird. So anyway, the glue for the Olive & June, I'm going to show a little demo of this. I have a little piece of plastic here. The glue for this, I feel like, is almost a slightly dry texture for a glue. I don't find it to be like overly gooey. And I'll do a comparison at the end to show. It's almost like a dry glue is kind of like the way I think of it. Obviously it's not dry, it's glue, it's going to be wet, but there's an element to this where I feel like it dries really quickly and it almost dries to more of like a brittle kind of feel compared to the Glamnetic, which I'll show and explain more once I do the Glamnetic comparison. So the Olive & June nails, they're $10 for this pack. I find that most of the time when I've worn the Olive & June, I get about a solid 7 days of wear before things start kind of consistently popping off. Oftentimes within that first 7 days, I would have like one nail that just like didn't want to hang on. And that could have been user error when it comes to prepping them. But that was pretty consistent. And so anything beyond 7 days, oftentimes like I'd have to glue them, you know, a little more frequently. But that's the great thing about press-on nails. They don't take a lot of time to fix when things start falling apart. You literally just glue it back on. You don't have to wait for anything to really dry the way that you do with nail polish. So that's been really great. So now let's talk about the Glamnetic. So these are $15 and I found these at Ulta. I just happened to see them when I was in, and Olive & June had been sold out at my Target, and I was just like, I am not waiting another day. My nails keep popping off at this point and I'm annoyed. So I found these Glamnetic nails, and like I said, they're $15. There's 24 nails, and they basically have the same things included. It's just in a different presentation here. So the Glamnetic nails, this is a different set that I wore. They are not as thick in the middle there. I also find these to be quite a bit more flexible than the Olive & June nails. But I will say, it's kind of interesting, they're very like curved this way, like a dolphin. I mean, and you can really see that on some of my nails. Compared to the Olive and June, they're definitely still curved, but it is not the same level of, it's hard to see, curvature that you've got going on there, right? So, and I think that the Glamnetic, they make that shape to kind of mimic sculpted acrylic nails, which is, you know, kind of nice. But yeah, they're a little bit thinner through this center part. They're more flexible than the Olive and June, which are a bit harder of a plastic. And the glue, now this is where I found the biggest difference. The glue is quite different compared to the Olive and June. So the Glamnetic glue has a slight pinkish tint, which is actually kind of great when you have nails that have kind of this sheer milky base. This glue is much more, you can see it kind of dabbing there. It is much more gel-like. I put quite a bit on there, but just so you can see it, it really has a different type of tack. It dries differently. It does not feel as brittle once it dries. And because of that, I think that that is why I got 12 days out of my last Glamnetic set before 3 literally popped off. And then once I glued those on, I had several more days. And then finally, I just took them all off because things were starting to get really grown out. But I had nothing pop off until day 12. Not a single nail lifted. I don't know. Like, there's something special about this glue. I don't understand it, but it's excellent. The nails themselves are really, really comfortable. And I have found with the Glamnetic nails, for some reason, even though there's less nails in the box, I barely have to file any of the sides to get them to fit my nails. So overall, I have found Glamnetic wears better on me, is more comfortable, and incredibly durable. That's another thing I didn't even mention. I felt like with the Olive and June, I had to be a little more tedious so I wouldn't pop a nail off. Glamnetic, I literally like hooked my belt loops and my nail kind of got stuck and I thought I was gonna rip off my entire fingernail like to the base. The nail was still on and it never popped off. The other thing, I was doing some work outside and I was using a hammer and I accidentally hammered my thumb. That nail didn't pop off. Like the Glamnetic, I don't know what they do, but these like do not come off. They are indestructible. You can live your life and not worry about them just like popping off willy-nilly, you know? So, just given the fact that like I'm constantly doing stuff around my house and chasing a toddler and like all that kind of stuff, I need durable, and Glamnetic is freaking awesome for that. I think Olive and June is also a really great option. Say you're in Target, you need something that, you know, you might wear for the weekend, you might have it for a few more days during the work week. You don't mind changing them up a little bit more. I think Olive and June is actually a really great pick too. And especially if you are someone who has like an extremely thin nail bed, for instance, they have some of the tiniest nails I have ever seen. I do feel like the actual nail itself tends to run a little bit long. So if you have a shorter nail bed this way, you might want to look into the extra short or short. Because if you go medium, they suddenly get extremely long. Like this is a shorter one here, but they start getting very long. And if you're not comfortable with really long nails and you have a shorter nail bed, go with the shorter nails that they offer. I think it's a great option for $10. But I will say, I already have a backup box of the Glamnetic because I am obsessed. I love them so much. They look so good. They last really well. And really the price difference is pretty comparable, but for $5 more and not having to worry about them popping off as easily, I think Glamnetic is totally worth it. Press-on nails have come such a long way from like when I was in college 10 years ago. Like they are just not the same. They are made so much better with much more of a comfortable fit. They don't make your fingers hurt, and they really last more than just a few days. So I hope this is helpful if you've been kind of on the fence about either trying press-on nails or trying to decide which press-on nails to buy. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to drop them down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this, please give it a little thumbs up. Helps other people find my channel, and I can continue making you this type of content. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.